Today in Ontario, in many cases, mums really only have two options. They can have their baby at the hospital, or they can have their baby at home, where that's attended by a midwife. We think it's important to create a new option, an additional option. And that option is what we call a birthing center. And that's an option for a mom to go there to be cared for by a midwife outside of a hospital setting, and in a setting that's a little bit more formal than a home, but not so formal that it is kind of a foreign environment. We are already big fans of midwives and birthing centers. We think this marks the beginning of an important evolution in how we deliver babies in Ontario. But there's pressure from young mums in Ontario today. We're saying, I want a new option. I don't feel this is not a medical experience. It's a natural experience. I'm just going to have a baby, and I want the option to have that baby at home or in a birthing center.
Midwives have a wonderful track record. There's a long history of midwifery, and midwives are very, as the Premier said, very competent when it comes to knowing when their scope of practice has come, where they've exhausted the scope of practice and it's time to call in a physician. My own daughter had a child with a midwife. I was blessed to be there at the moment of birth of my grandson. She chose to have the birth in a hospital because they live what they felt was too far away from the hospital. So proximity to the hospital is an issue that matters.
We're not going to drive any transformation in healthcare unless it does two things for us. It's got to improve the quality of care, and by that I mean bring it closer to home, make sure that we can uphold high standards and enhance those standards, and it's got to introduce some new economic efficiencies. So there's never been a better time, I think, Michael, is the best way to put it, than today. We've got so much demand coming from young mums. We've got so much demand coming from people to get care closer to home. They've got so much demand to reduce cost pressures within the healthcare system itself, so it couldn't be a better time.
Well, I'm glad to hear that there will be other options. I was very happy to give birth at home, but I know that there are a lot of people that I know who are just a little reluctant to go home but find hospitals a bit daunting. So I think that it's a really good plan for healthy births. And I know that it's more cost effective, so it seems to hit all the right notes in terms of doing the right thing.
I think for the babies, it's just going to be great not to have to be exposed to a hospital environment, to not have to, and from a mom's perspective, to not have to worry about, is there SARS going on? What's the other breakout? I mean, recently chickenpox has become another really big concern with exposure early on, and so just to be able to avoid that and know that you're in a very comfortable environment with other laboring women is something that babies and moms are very lucky that they're going to have to.